It's Wednesday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Alaja, Nima, Akasha, Zubiri. How you doing today?
I'm fine. Somebody wanted to upset me, but I will not be upset.
Yeah,
Today is our Odogu's birthday. So my one and only surest in-law, the one that has my best side, you know, LB shows up. His name is Lukman Bello, Miriam's husband. This guy has just answered.
What do you think?
Like a prayer answered.
No,
my Miriam.
I have only one husband.
My Miriam's. So Miriam's husband, my own Miriam. Lukman, we call him LB, the techie. Thank you so much for all that you are. You're a prayer answered.
Yeah.
Thank you. Happy birthday. Many, many more fruitful years from me, from Mr. Zibiri, the children. I hope that from now you and Imran will have good relationship.
Please allow her.
He's also another in-law.
Yes.
If you don't mind.
So, Mr. I mind.
I like that.
Mr. Femi Brown, my husband, my
everything.
God bless her. Thank you for it's his birthday. Happy birthday, my love. God bless you. God bless you many more years. Our God will bless you with money.
Yes,
I know.
God will bless you.
I know where Mr. Brown is. He's lucky not to be. There's one as I was driving past. I know that he's praying. This is the birthday. Birthday to worship God.
Now you did the first thing first. Goes to worship God. Happy birthday, and we thank God for that. So
happy birthday, Mr. Brown. I saw his message on my birthday. Really melted me.
He writes well. He writes very well.
Yeah, he does.
Hi, Dintokwe.
I'm very good. Really, really grateful to God. Like, grateful. I've been doing Hallelujah Challenge a little bit later than every other person did it, and during the day, I'm going back to watch it and really enjoying. I don't know why some people feel like if you've missed it, you've missed out. You haven't. You can still watch and still get a whole lot. But someone close to me,
the anointing as fresh
in their mind, it is fresh
every night.
Very, very sad that somebody close to me called me to say that his son isn't feeling fine, and I said he should go to primary health care center. And right now I found out that they went to a friend's house who is a nurse and is doing self-treatment. Like they are doing drip for this little child, less than 10, within the house. Please, it is extremely important that we reduce self-medication, especially when it involves injections, drips, and all of that, without getting tested. There are a lot of primary health care centers in Lagos and around that you can go and check. Because a lot of people die just because the parents are unwilling to extend themselves to go and check. It's free for children.
Interesting.
Most of the medications are free for kids, except they are not available at the family.
Information is key. The people need to know that there's an
option. Enjoy it.
I'm fine. Let me talk.
Sorry.
How you doing, ma'am?
I'm fine, thank you. I was just going to say the other day, I hadn't been to the stadium in a long time. In fact, since 2020 when it was closed down. But I went a few days ago and I was not happy with the state of the place. I know that, I think I'd heard somewhere where they said they had concessioned it, but even then, it does not mean that we should let the place just go to waste. There was just trash everywhere, plastic bags, bottles everywhere. I could see a few people cleaning up, but it's not enough. So, I mean, people go there, it's for recreational purposes, it's a good place to spend the day and spend time. Government should work on...
And the longer they wait,
keeping it clean.
And the longer they wait, it will become even more expensive to repair.
I have a complaint.
Tell us.
So I ordered, somebody was doing Ashwebi. I paid for the Ashwebi. Now, the vendor now says, it's 5,000 naira for delivery. I said, don't bother. Give me your address. I'll pick up. He said, no, if I'm picking up, it's 2,500.
So they had already planned profits into
understand. I said, how? I don't understand. I said, in this country. I said, no, just give me your address. That's 2,500.
I've never heard it before.
I said, I have to mention this.
2,500 for knowing the address.
I don't understand.
2,500 for...
I said,
for you going there.
Just to come and pick up my Ashwebi. And she said, 16, I must pay 2,500. But what exactly?
And you bought the Ashwebi?
No, keep
I'm going to even report to the owner of the Ashwebi.
They should refund the money. We're not buying again.
Don't worry, buy your economy. Yeah, in this economy, that's 2,500. That's the pickup.
It's too shocking.
I've never heard it before.
Me too. You don't misunderstand this person.
Sis, I will post it on Twitter. I'm going to post it after my 100th birthday. Please, does this even make sense?
It doesn't.
Anyways, let's go on a quick break. When we come back and go to the front pages of the paper, stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. Federal government unfolds Forex tax, jobs, investment policies. Oil thieves deploy CCTV mortar launchers along pipeline routes. Clark seeks exclusion of Abia, Imo, Ondo from NDDC. Akeredolu receives Sanwo-Olu, Makinde, Abiodun, and Oyebanji. U.S. court rejects request for FBI reports on Tinubu. Land racketeering rocks FCTA. EFCC chair orders staff members to declare assets. And Senate defends 160 million SUVs, 160 million naira worth SUVs for National Assembly members.
The undefendable.
Okay, which one?
I have to read this defense to you guys.
Please.
The Senate really put up a defense.
Strong word.
You need to hear. First of all, you know, they're talking about the reason why they are going to purchase the 2023 model of the Toyota Land Cruiser SUV for 107 senators. And each one is 160 million naira. This is in addition to the bulletproof vehicles being purchased for the Senate President and his deputy. Of course, Nigerians are screaming and shouting. This, you know, we're saying it does not show sensitivity to, you know, what Nigerians are going through. Anyways, here is the defense, and I'll leave Nigerians to decide, you know.
How much of a defense?
No. Somebody from the Senate is stopping my work. It's trying to stop this. Okay. So they're saying that, first of all, why is it that they are always beaming the searchlight on them, calling them out about this? After all, they are not the only ones. Other arms of government use similar vehicles. They said ministers, members of state houses of assembly as well. He says a minister has more than 3 Land Cruisers, Prado, and other vehicles, and you're not asking them any questions. It's us you're asking. Anyways, the reason why it's important is because the roads are bad.
Terrible.
And they have to drive all the way to their constituencies and back.
Bad state.
And they even did a comparative analysis with our Nigerian assembled cars and found out that the cost over time will be much more, you know, if we use that, and the risk and the, you know, the roads would not allow for, maintenance cost is much more than this new SUV 160 million naira. So, Nigerians, your roads are too bad. Your senators are going to find it very difficult to use any other cars, but the 2020...
Unfortunately, it's not our hot topic, so we can't dwell on it. Well, it was an interesting defense. Let's move on to that story.
NNPC, with their partners, Target Energy, Tantita Security Services, Operation Delta Safe, uncovered, with their air surveillance, they uncovered thieves stealing our crude oil and processing it in Nigeria here. Covered their CCTVs. They said that they are far from regular criminals. They have taken their activities to a notch higher. In the camps, they have CCTV cameras that are installed on trees.
This was
by these things to monitor security operatives. They have mounted mortar launchers, defense systems ready to kill whoever they...
This is a limited liability company.
They see as an enemy or a foe. And they are busy in this Nigeria, this our today Nigeria, ready to carry on their businesses. They said in this October, in a week, they uncovered over 40-something oil wells that they are stealing from. They said that in the past weeks, there have been 149 incidences that were recorded in the Niger Delta alone. They are well-orchestrated thieves. And the fact that there is no electricity inside the swamp where they go, it does not deter them. They have about 49 illegal places that they are stealing from. No lights, no they worry them. They constantly carry on their business. So the CCTV helps them monitor surveillance. When surveillance takes a break, they resume and carry on their businesses. They say they've been able to uncover all of that and will continue to see progress.
Security services within security.
I fear or no fear Nigeria.
Okay, the United States Court of the District of Columbia has refused a request by Aaron Greenspan seeking to compel the U.S. security agencies to promptly release to him information, including documents relating to our president, Tinubu. Judge Beryl Howell, in a ruling on Monday, declined Greenspan's request on the grounds that he failed, technicalities again, he failed to satisfy the relevant conditions for the grant of such a prayer for a temporary relief as contained in the emergency hearing motion, which filed on Friday. So if it was Nigeria that were saying that they stopped something for technicality, we'll be complaining. This was actually stopped based on technical issues.
So I'm taking the story about the major headline. If we recall, there was the Taiwo Oyedele-led Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee had gotten approval to present whatever they have come up with as suggestions. They had 20 recommendations over job creation, forex, reforms, ease of doing business, tax mainly was one of the things that they were going to discuss. But out of the 20 recommendations, key ones will be that they are going to be expanding, they are recommending expansion of official forex markets to include BDCs, and they want to stop black market transactions. They want to, so that every forex transaction is tracked. They also said they were going to sanction transactions outside the official market, stop speculative forex demand, that's ordering, where you buy and you just hold with the hope that it goes higher and then you sell. And they want to do this by digitizing forex transactions within Nigeria. For tax, they said there were over 60 tax and levies, and these are making over 200 levies that are making life difficult for our people. So in providing relief, they said they want to relieve for private sector, payment of tax on foreign currency. That's supposed to, like, any foreign currency transaction, there'll be tax payment on them. And withholding tax regulation, they are recommending reforms within that space. They also said that there should be 6 months removal of tax on diesel so as to ease, for business ease. Then elimination of multiple taxes. For
those
jobs,
who have dollars, they will tax you.
Yes. And if you are doing transaction, if you are doing transaction in dollars, but that is not through the official window, there'll be tax as well. There are many things that were recommended. I'm waiting for.
How would you get to tax? Okay.
I'll be waiting for how fast the implementation will take place, because I know we interviewed him. How it's been implemented and how fast it will be implemented.
We'll be calling him again for updates. Yeah. Let's move on quickly now to the Punch. Tinubu panel asks government to drop 190 taxes. OPS blames states. DSS nabs suspected terrorist wife, recovers 150 AK-47 rifles. Lagos cancer doctor Olaleye bags life jail for rape. Slain Nigerian student, Philippines police file murder cases against suspects. Senate probes 11 trillion naira refinery repairs, summons Kyari. EFCC chair orders staff to declare assets. And reps fault CBN's forex ban lifts necker cakes. Okay, which story are we taking?
DSS in Niger State stormed a house after they got a tip-off about from neighbors, and during that operation, they said they discovered a large cache of AK-47 rifles and thousands of ammunition. So DSS had gotten like some intelligence about this person, a suspected terrorist, and they proceeded to, go to arrest him. But this terrorist, in his house, he had CCTV cameras, so he could see them as they approached him. He said he, of course, engaged them in a gun fight, and then he now launched a rocket bomb or something that broke down his fence, and that was how he was able to escape. But he left his wife and children in the house. So the DSS apprehended the wife and children, and they found all this ammunition and arms, in his house. Well, we'll just say that we hope that they find him, but, that these people are living amongst us, and they're using their houses just in our neighborhoods to pile up these things, so...
Okay, let me take one of the human interest story. The Philippine National Police has filed a murder case against the suspected Chinese persons said to have been involved in the killing of a Nigerian medical student, Chibuike Emmanuel, in the country. The deceased friends in the chat have said that they have actually confirmed that they have been they have filed cases against this Chinese man indeed. According to an ex-user, Chibuike was allegedly murdered by a group of Chinese. He disclosed that the deceased died of alleged torture by his assailants, who tied his hands and mouth and subsequently beat him to death. He said the incident happened in the Philippines, and then we're happy that the authorities have started taking this very seriously. Then, of course, the Punch also tried to reach out to the Nigerian, I think, NIDCOM. They contacted Mr. Abdul Rahman at the commission, who only said that he got the Nigerian embassy in the Philippines, and that they are also investigating to get an update on exactly what happened, and they will definitely be giving updates to the Nigerian government as soon as they have more information on what transpired and happened. But we're happy that at least NITCOM is on top of this, and also the international, the Ministry of International Affairs. Okay. Any other story in Punch? Break. Oh, we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch. We had a story.
The EFCC boss has called all his staff members in the EFCC agency to declare their assets. He says that all of us must declare our assets from level 17 downwards. I did mine already. There's no reason for anybody to be afraid. Declare your assets. Even the commission secretary have already done theirs. And although you may have done it in the past, but there's need for everybody to do it again. It says that those who are the vanguard of, fighting financial crime must be above board.
Absolutely.
They must, and I agree totally, because some lifestyles just don't, they don't correspond with, the...
It's not going to be based on their account.
But it's also important, not just as declare whatever you have going forward.
They don't put in their account anyway because they know you can check it, so they collect cash.
Even,
so the lifestyle must be monitored.
And
if your cash in your account does not show or correspond to your lifestyle, then we know that there's...
He said it at the Senate when he said some people's lifestyle and their spending, is just different. Not making sense. So I hope that he continues to interpret it as he wants.
Okay, moving on now.
No. I'm taking the story about the refineries because all Nigerians are suffering the impact of not having refineries, the cost of which we have spent so much money. So the Senate has called for a probe. The ad hoc committee supervising the petroleum ministries have asked that they investigate how Nigeria has spent 11.35 trillion in 13 years and on rehabilitating refineries that are still not working.
Naira or dollar?
Naira, actually. The contracts are awarded. So the Deputy Senate Presidents will be presiding over this. Other members of the committee are going to be asking the question. The motion is they will be calling the NNPC, people that have led NNPC over time. And it is to check from 2013 till 2010 till date how this amount of money has been spent. And we still have 4 moribund refineries. And I'm looking forward to hearing whatever, because we don't just want to hear that this is how the money was spent. We want people to be culpable because they are saying that it's an allegation of sabotage, that within the system, sabotaging the efforts of the government and impoverishing Nigerians.
Okay, the latest Atiku's bid to expose FBI CIA records on Tinubu fails. Peter Obi tasked judiciary on election petition. Bandits attack mosque, kill 2, injure 2 worshippers in Kaduna. Nigerian company launches unmanned aerial services drone production. Impeachment, Ondo Deputy Governor asks CJ to ignore letter from the Assembly. FG obtains fresh $17 million loan from World Bank. Moribund Refineries and NPCL faces 11.35 trillion naira probe. An alleged P&ID scam. EFCC opens case against fleeing Britain. Okay, so the EFCC opened its case at the Federal High Court in Abuja against Mr. James Nolan, who jumped bail back in 2022. The FCC counsel, Mr. Balasanga, led the first prosecution witness. His name is Mr. Tumitokwe Erinomo. They were in court. And what happened was that Nolan, the director, in the Process and Industrial Development Limited, that's P&ID, jumped bail back in 2022 during the proceedings. And he has not shown up, although his lawyer has been showing up, but he's not been showing up since 2022. And so they've actually filed a case against him to get him to report back to Nigeria to face the charges that be held against him.
Okay, so I have the story of, the elite group of companies that has launched, an indigenous Nigerian company that has launched the assembly and production line of UAVs, drones, that's unmanned vehicles, drones and other security equipment within the country. And they said that they're looking at, significantly reducing the extended delivery time that is usually associated with ordering, producing, and waiting for foreign companies to deliver such equipment to Nigerian clients. And so they have started the assembling and production of it within the country. I hope this, of course, is also going to increase employment.
Peter will be, we remember they said as the Supreme Court reserved judgment on the suit that was filed by the PDP candidate and LP candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. Mr. Peter Obi is challenging the outcome. Remember, it was the LP was challenging the outcome of the elections. So he's saying that he's maintaining that the panel erred in law and reached a wrong conclusion when it dismissed his petition. He alleges that the panel wrongly evaluated the proof of evidence he had put before them and occasioned a grave miscarriage of justice when he held that he did not specify polling units where irregularities occurred during the election. Anyways, in summary, he's just saying that it's important that the rule of law is maintained. He says the rule of law remains the lifeblood of democracy in all societies and by whatever definition across time, remains the foundation for all our fundamental human rights. And he says that if we miss it, and we instead put the rule of law of the powerful, the rule of law of the rich, our democracy would be affected by it. So he does not agree with, the final judgment of the tribunal, and I guess we'll see what goes on after now.
Yeah, I want to take the story about the terrorist attack that took place in Kaduna State yesterday. In the early hours of Tuesday, terrorists went into a mosque and shot into the praying people that were praying. They killed the imam as well as one other person. This happened within the Biringwari local government area of Kaduna State, Sabonlaye. It's an agrarian community, and they've said that there's a particular road, the Biringwari-Kaduna highway, has become a nightmare for travelers because there's constant attacks taking place by terrorists. Almost on a daily basis, that they patrol this area, killing innocent citizens and kidnapping people within that local government. And now an imam, as well as another person who went to pray in the early hours of Tuesday, were murdered while praying. And these terrorists seem to just come in, shoot, and get away with whatever they're doing. Of course, they're asking for more security help, but what can we say?
Moving on now to Vanguard. Nigeria needs $10 billion annually to fund SDG, says federal government. FG extends stay of recalled envoys by 3 months. SUVs be considered cost bad roads before approving Land Cruiser, says Senate. Alleged anti-party activities, Deputy Speaker Minister at war. Lack of financial autonomy hampering growth of the 774 local government, says federal government. Presidential poll, INEC must probe why upload of results to IRF fail, says Jega. And Senate to probe federal government's 11.35 trillion term of refineries. Clark seeks expulsion of Abia, Imo, Ondo from NDDC. Okay, which story?
Okay, can I take a story not on the front page but in the Vanguard? The former President Obasanjo was speaking at the 2024 Canada Trade Mission pre-conference session that was held in Abeokuta on Monday, and he lamented that there's a wickedness happening right now because our Adire is no longer Adire from Abeokuta, where it originated.
Imported.
But it's now Chinese Adire.
Yes.
And he says that the federal government must put a ban on such a thing that, goes to the very heritage of our people. I totally agree with him.
I mean, I think that's why even CBN governor was summoned by the House. Yes. These ones that are removed.
Yes, some things are just not supposed to be.
Yeah. Yes. So let me take the story from I think it's the Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zafana Gisalo, said that local government administration in Nigeria must be empowered. According to her, the financial restrictions faced by the 774 local governments across the country is hampering their growth. This is a conversation we've always had for the past few years. We say it, we repeat it here on the show every time. But she recently was very specific, emphasizing that the capacity of local government councils to offer crucial services to grassroots communities was gravely affected by financial inadequacy, infrastructure, and lack of autonomy. The minister said that the situation had led to frustration and likelihood of growth, discontent in the country. And we need to really, this has to be addressed and addressed immediately for sustainable growth.
So we're talking about still some sort of sustainable development, SDG, and the federal government is, the conversation from Mrs. Ok-Morayo Adefulire said that Nigeria would actually need to spend $10 billion on a yearly basis to be able to sustain the SDG goals. We're talking about leveraging technology, and they said they cannot do it, the government can't do it alone, that the government needs partnership with private sector to be able to support and keep up with the delivering the SDG. Said they are also engaging with them. There needs to be investment in infrastructure. They need to have this partnership could be done through CSR and a way to mobilize their resources so that it is channeled directly towards SDG advantages. They also were talking about how to raise these funds, having clear-cut strategies so that long-term we're able to deliver the... Nigeria is always not at par when it comes to SDG, but at least if we get more funding to them, we'll be able to see growth within that area.
All right, let me just run quickly. We have the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story we've not taken. U.S. court denies urgent request for Tinubu's dossier. Reps invite CBN governor over the lifting of forex ban on 43 items. Nigeria to vaccinate 7.7 million girls against leading cause of cervical cancer. Southwest governors visit Akeredolu in Ibadan. This HPV vaccine that Nigerians are controversially saying that is the end of the world.
Which end of the world? Well, they've launched it in Nigeria.
They have seen videos, not even Nigeria.
They say you shouldn't
mass vaccination campaign in schools and communities, and 70.7 million girls are targeted across the country. So Nigerians, please, before you start.
So people be passing these videos across WhatsApp saying that this is the end time vaccination, you shouldn't do that. So
there were videos abroad about side effects.
Can you say that?
There were videos about side effects, and they are really, really scary side effects.
HPV.
You know, so...
Thank you. So people have been taking the vaccine. I have been waiting for my daughter to turn 9 so we can go together. It's been forever.
Because even Dr. Olaleye...
It's not a new one. Thank you. So it's not a new vaccine.
Abeg, let's go and break as well. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Welcome back. So now we have with us the chairman of Erudite Group. He is Mr. Said Oladele. Erudite Group is now one of a kind educational institute in Africa, preparing students for international examinations and foreign admissions. He has trained over 200 school teachers on English, and he's with us today. Good morning. Welcome to the show, Mr. Oladele. It's good to have you, Mr. Said.
Good morning. Good to have you. So happy to be here.
I can see you're very bubbly this morning. So tell us, let's discuss, before even going to what you do in Erudite Group, what is your own concern with Nigeria's educational system? Why did you even get into that industry in the first place?
Well, my concern with the Nigerian educational system is the fact that I've not seen commitment on the part of the Nigerian government. They don't look like a serious government when it comes to education. And I can say proudly that education is not on their priority list. Because how do you convince me that an old accountant is the best as education minister in the country, or a charge and bail lawyer is the best as education commissioner in a state? Is that the best that we can get? That shows that education is not the priority of our government. That's my first concern.
Okay, in this conversation, so how does Erudite Group come in?
I think before talking about that, I would like to suggest some things that the Nigerian government should do before we move to that. Number one, the Nigerian government needs to update our curriculum. The curriculum is already outdated and is begging for attention. So number two is that we should move away from a la crème la peau La Forgete system that we are running in Nigeria and move to a reasoning-based curriculum. So many of us now, if they ask us some of the things we did in 100 level, we are forgotten because it is not application.
Yes.
So we need to move away from that. Number 3, our governments need to stop examination bodies from recycling questions. Because if you're asking questions that will make you cram and pour it, you will soon get to the end of questioning. But if you're asking applications or you're asking applied questions, you can bring questions from different ways. And giving them applied questions, we give our students, our children, ability to think and solve Nigerian problems. So that's number 3. Our government should please equip Nigerian schools with state-of-the-art facilities. If anybody damages anything, such a person should be made to pay for damages. And finally, we should incorporate skills, soft and hard skills, into our curriculum for self-reliance, because degrees alone are not enough. So we need skills. So these are my suggestions.
So while I heard you, it's the suggestions, I cannot disagree with a few of the suggestions, but I feel like, well, the way you said it, it might not be applicable to, maybe, are you talking about primary schools, secondary schools, or university? Because for some, they feel the curriculum within the primary sector, our children are very advanced, especially within that primary school, but maybe it's not applicable in the university. So are you specifically directing this suggestion to the university?
Okay, thank you very much. I can proudly say that our educational system in Nigeria, primary, secondary, I can say that it is better than what we have in some of these advanced nations.
Thank you.
Their universities are better than ours, but our primary and secondary schools are better. We just need to put some improvements in place, as I've mentioned.
So when you said it's obsolete, and so it's like that's still heavy. So I'm happy that you clarified because some would argue.
The chief imam just sent a message that you got it wrong. That a minister of education is not a retired accountant, but a professor of law.
I am not saying is. I'm saying was. Past tense.
But sometimes you need.
I'm not talking about the current minister.
Sometimes you need good.
We are just getting it right. Even the state that gave us a charge and bail lawyer has given us a very vibrant professor now. So that means that we are making progress.
Okay, so go ahead in the next question. So let's talk about Erudite.
Okay,
what is Erudite going to? Because we appreciate you understand the problem, because that's what many people do. We all know Nigeria's problem. But what is Erudite Group doing to solve it?
Okay, thank you very much. The Erudite Group is made up of three entities. We have Erudite Millennium Limited, we have Erudite Model High School, we have Erudite International Knowledge Village. Within the Erudite Millennium Limited, a lot of people know Erudite Millennium Limited already, because we recently set a world record of producing 100% successes in Cambridge A-level. Recording 100% successes in Cambridge A-level is not something easy to come by. And let alone doing it within 4 to 6 months, which happened to be the world's shortest time. That's the world record there. Wow. Recording 100% successes can be found elsewhere. But doing it within the world's shortest time is something that is not easy to come by. That is for Cambridge A-level. Last Friday, the American College Board released our SAT result, and we discovered that all our students, all of them passed, and we got some of them that got 1510, 1520, 1540 over 16. So this is how we record, this is how we have outstanding successes all the time. And that's why when you type Erudite Millennium Limited on Google, you find a lot of things that will wow you about Erudite Millennium Limited. But talking about Erudite Model High School, or you want to say something before?
No, I want to ask my question.
Okay, please go ahead.
So you are a linguist by
profession.
Okay. And I'm wondering, is it about another man's language or just knowledge across board for your subscribers to the Erudite Group? What exactly are you giving them? Because I see that you also train for international exam, the IELTS. And is it about this Oyibo Jackpot thing, another language, or just general knowledge across board?
Well, it is general knowledge, because I wanted to mention what we do with the Erudite Model High School and the Erudite International Knowledge Village. The Erudite Model High School is a kind of unique school. So what makes it unique? Apart from learning the way other students learn, in JS3, we expect you to acquire 2 international languages. So in JS3. And in SS3, we expect you to do your Cambridge A-level and some other things, so that we get your admission and scholarship sorted before you leave secondary school. That is the Model High School. Sorry?
That's fine.
I'm enjoying you.
So that's about the model high school. But in the International Knowledge Village, we have the Tech Academy. Within the Tech Academy, we have what we call Fourth Industrial Revolution Program. Within the Fourth Industrial Revolution Program, you are meant to learn web design, web development. You are meant to learn artificial intelligence. You are meant to learn UI, UX. What are we trying to do there?
Exactly.
We are trying to create an alternative career. No matter what you study, you can still struggle to make both ends
So
meet.
at what point do we come to Erudite? Is it after secondary school, between secondary school and university? Or is it while you're in secondary school, we're going to you for lesson? What exactly? At what point?
Now, we have 3 different targets.
Okay.
So our first target is those who are leaving secondary school.
Okay.
So we want them to come and do their gap year. We are telling Nigerian parents, do not rush your children to the university. Even if your child becomes a graduate at 18, you will not get an award for it. We need to learn from UK and US. There are certain ages they will not admit your children to the university in these countries. I don't know why Nigerians are in a hurry. So what we are trying to say now is that after finishing secondary school, you don't need to just look for any university just to dump your child there. Unfortunately, Nigerians are talking about studying in Benin Republic, in Togo. Can you just imagine? So they are leaving UI, Unilag, OAU, all these big universities in Nigeria.
It's strike. It's strike.
No, it's not just about strike, but because they can do their degree over there within 2 years, and most of the universities are...
The employers
They're not accredited.
are looking for 21-year-olds.
So what would you wait? What would you do in that 2 years? Let's be sure we get. In that 2 years, what would you do?
1 year is 1 year.
Is it 1 year or 2 years?
If you go there within 2 years, there is a way they fast-track the program. I've had a lot of people who have...
Erudite, the gap year.
The gap year program.
Yes.
Okay, within the gap year, you do Cambridge A-level, you do SAT, you do 4IR, and you do IELTS. The 4IR is our scholarship booster. So because now scoring, having a very high score in SAT is not enough to get scholarship again. Gone are the days that once you got like maybe 1.4, you will be sure that you were going to get a scholarship. Now it is not. A lot of parents have been disappointed. And that's why we now came up with that idea. There's a boy called Walker in the US who got $4 million scholarship and gained admission to 27 universities, including Harvard, MIT, and Stanford. Not because of a high score in any foreign examination, but because he built a device to help disadvantaged communities. So US schools have moved away from scores. In fact, some of them have even become test optional schools. They will say you may not even bring any test score, but what is unique about you? They are looking for unique achievements. And many Nigerians do not know that already. And that's why we have a total package in our school. Because the joy of every parent is to send their children abroad, especially in this dollar exchange rate wahala. So if you can send your children abroad on full ride with full scholarship, you can sleep soundly in Nigeria without thinking of, where do I get $50,000 to pay? That is one gap that Erudite is feeling. And we have a lot of students who are studying on scholarship. A lot of people tell you that there are no scholarships again, there are scholarships. But people do not know.
So what are the other programs apart from the
Who are
gap
these
year?
people at Erudite that help our children achieve these things?
Well, we have Erudite is a very big organization.
Yes.
And you know, if you have gone through my profile, I'm a perfectionist myself. If you are not so good, you cannot
So
work.
these teachers, professors of, what training
Or
do
your
they have?
curriculum is the one that is
Yes.
unique.
Exactly. Exactly. For example, now we do our start boot camp within 1 month. Within just 1 month. All those people that scored 1,540, we train them within 1 month. Our Cambridge level, we did it within 6 months.
Why? Who are these?
Our 4IR within 3 months, and they built a lot of devices, websites, and a whole lot of applications.
Okay, so we have to wrap up with you now. How do they reach you? People want more information, phone numbers, websites.
I think before we move there, let me quickly mention some of our upcoming programs. So sorry about that. Number one is that coming this November 6th, we are starting our WAEC bootcamp. So we have 6 months program for those who are preparing for WAEC, for those who are academically weak, or the brilliant ones that want to be put on hot seats. So we're also starting a degree program with in a partnership with the German university, where you spend 1 year with us, 2 years in Germany, with 18 months work visa after that. We're also starting a program called RAI, Robotics, Artificial Intelligence, and Internet of Things. You learn how to apply all these things to your daily life.
We have to run.
We have to go.
Yes.
I've not mentioned our UTME boot camp. Is it 15 minutes?
Okay. Let me phone numbers. Okay,
yeah, this school is located at Are Avenue, Bodija, Ibadan. Okay. And we have students from different parts of the world. You'll be surprised that people are bringing their children from the US, UK, and some other countries.
It's only physical, or is it online?
It's physical, it's fully physical, and it's fully boarding. And that is why where you are coming from is not an issue. Okay. We don't take day students. And that is even the secret behind our success. Okay. We're able to manage their time the way we like.
Okay. All right.
So, and it's a very strict environment. Our phone numbers are...
On the screen.
They are on the screen.
On the screen.
On the screen.
Don't worry.
Okay, I should not mention the phone number.
Don't worry.
Okay,
thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Good to be here.
Let's go to a break. When we come back, move on with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Last year, we took a story about the popular Lagos doctor who defiled his wife's niece, and the case has been to court. Yesterday, the Lagos State Sexual Offences and Domestic Violence sitting in Ikeja got a sentence of the medical director of Optimal Cancer Care Foundation, Dr. Femi Olaleye, to life imprisonment for the defilement of his wife's niece. The history of this case cannot be written without the men and the doggedness of the various people. We had Your View's contribution. We had people like Princess Comedian. We had actress like Kate Henshaw. So many others who added their voice to this victory. And joining us on the show right now is Princess the Comedian herself. Good morning, Princess. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Good morning. Nice to be here.
It's always a pleasure to have you. When issues like this happen, we call you because you've been a voice, and a very strong voice, not just for this case, for several others. And we monitored you. We try to always offer our platform to you and others to share and express your position on these issues. When you had the victory yesterday, tell us what happened, what went through your mind?
I was in the pool, and messages were coming in on my phone. And then the person with my phone signaled me that the messages were too much, so I had to get out of the pool. I checked. When I saw it, I was like, I got back in the pool, came out, got back, like 3 times. I was just confused. Then I started singing, and everybody was staring at me. And I was just, the truth is, with everything that happened with the case, and obviously, as you know, with the Baba Ijesha case, I didn't have that much faith in the justice system. Wow. You understand? So I had just made up my mind that even if they sentence him to just 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, so God be the glory. So because as usual, the evidence was just too
overwhelming,
too numerous, overwhelming. So it was just, and I will tell you the truth, I wasn't even this happy when we got justice during Baba Ijesha's case. I felt cheated. I felt the system had really let me down. And the chain of evidence, everything was distorted. So, you know when you prepare your mind that something will be bad, and then this happens.
Turns out good.
Right.
I don't know. Yesterday, I was just extremely happy.
Okay.
You know, Princess, usually advocacy for cases like this and causes like this can be a thankless job. And so I cannot just imagine for you what this victory would mean. So would you say this outcome now would spur, bigger involvement or fights? Are there people that we would like to highlight that, maybe who are in the system, but they have not really gotten a court sentence yet? What would this spur you to do now?
How they reacted, you understand? The statement was you again. You understand? But I had to be the one to break the news. I had to let people know because this guy was my friend. I hope that people begin to see children as a very important part of our life, of our society. Because up until yesterday, I saw some comments on a lot of blogs, and people saying, "Oh, what did he do now? You never reach like that." And I felt like, what? We really need to change our mindset. And I saw people saying, "Oh, they should have just given him 10 years. How about now? He didn't kill her." And I really think our society needs to really educate people. A lot of organizations need to get on this, and parents need to educate their children that defilement, any forceful kind of assault or any assault on anyone is not okay.
Right.
There's nothing like little assault.
Yeah.
So I really hope that this helps in the future with a lot of victims that are ready to come out.
Right.
So everybody on social media this was trending on social media yesterday. I watched Kate Henshaw's video, and I commented about the fact that not only is this amazing news, but it just reassures people not to give up on the justice system. And I had no idea that you also had given up on the idea that justice might ever be served. And that is, for me, one thing we must highlight here, that no, you are not so powerful, you are not so high and mighty that if you commit a crime, if we stick to it and believe, we will not still have justice served. And I also mentioned that I hope this will spur more survivors to speak up, because many survivors don't feel like I will not get heard. And I'm not going to say anything. Yeah. So I can understand how you will feel. Many Nigerians share your sentiment regarding lack of faith or trust in the justice system, and this would encourage them. But one of the things Mayam asked, and I don't think you answered the question, was, are you aware of other survivors who probably had given up on pursuing their case because they feel like there might not be justice, and this would be able to encourage them? Or do you feel like you want to highlight some other stories, some other people that we should be speaking up for as well concerning sexual and domestic violence?
Wow, thank you for that question. And I have said this so many times, but I think, like I said, Nigerians choose to listen to what they want to hear. For instance, in the case of Baba Ijesha, we still have 11 survivors that I know that were ready to speak up. One of them said, and I quote, "Mi o ni nkankan," means I don't have anything. If they can drag Princess, who has never been in anybody's face like this, only God knows what they will do to me. Then another survivor who came, gave a statement, identified him, described him, and the police investigated and found everything she said to be true. When she was supposed to appear in court, she also was threatened into silence. For now, Femi Olaleye, it will shock you to know that Femi actually has a lot of victims in the UK. Wow. Okay, he was about to be prosecuted when he ran to Nigeria. So when he got to Nigeria, he also had victims, especially some of his staff working in his office. So, and some of them came and they spoke up, but when it was time to go to court, they were like, I don't know. People are saying, this person is saying, and I just want to. Femi still has victims. Now, the shocking thing about Femi's case is Femi always, 80% of the time, films all his acts, all his evil acts. And he has them stored on a laptop, powerfully encrypted. Are you with me? Yes. Now, the laptop has been de-encrypted and the videos are horrific. A lot of people in Nigeria who are his victims, they can't speak up because of the videos that he has, and he has been blackmailing them. I'm sure you've seen one or two of the videos, because I know a while ago, a blog released one of the videos and I was shocked. That why? You understand what I'm saying? But according to people were like, you kept saying there were videos and people thought you were lying. So maybe the blog looked for a way around it and said, if this lady, because I kept saying, I can never put those kind of videos online. They are horrific, they are horrendous. Wow. So Femi's victims out there, I don't want to mention your names, and I know I said it yesterday. For me personally, I will never mention it. I want to tell you one thing. Femi is now in prison. So definitely he will not be using those videos to blackmail you. But I need you to speak up so that you can get the help that you need. I also need you to speak up so you can take the power completely away from him. Because I know at this point you'll be like, okay, there's no need. I don't want justice anymore. He's in prison. But for you to have that life so you can live like a human being, please, I'm begging you. You can talk to the DSVA. It's highly confidential. So this is what, because his victims, one of them is definitely watching right now. Then Femi's case, his victims include young boys and girls under the age of 10.
Please.
Teenagers, patients in the hospital where he was working. All those activities happened in the hospital and he filmed them. So I don't know if you're with me. And then he has adults, married women. So my sister, you don't want to know.
Okay.
You don't want to know.
We're not normal people.
Princess, this still doesn't reassure me because Femi is just one person. You know, this danger is out there, is huge. It's very huge. And I hate the fact that we must have an outcry for us to follow through a case. That's the part that breaks me. I don't usually jump on this for that singular reason. If we don't outcry, they will not do justice for Mohbad. If we don't do outcry, must we do outcry for cases that should normally follow the system and go this normal way when there are evidences? Because the outcry would lead to Remy, Femi's wife, having to go through trauma, thinking, what would the world say before they would, do the right thing? She's just one woman. In fact, she's the only one we can talk of now in Nigeria as a mother who stood up for a child under her care when the husband was the abuser. She's the only one we can say now. Must we have outcry before the system would work?
Nimat, the thing is, why it is so is what I said earlier, is because right now, and that's the truth, I won't lie to you, right now in Nigeria, 80% of Nigerians do not see defilement or assault, sexual assault, as an issue. And that is the gospel truth. You can take it to the back. That's number one. Number two, the elites and the learned and the exposed are actually the one.
Hello, we lost you. Is it UK internet or American internet? Definitely not Nigeria internet. Okay, I think we lost her for a second. We'll have to bring her.
If I mention some, you will faint. So when I found out, I was unhappy, but during my therapy sessions, because I was depressed, I kept asking, why are they doing that? They don't even know Ijesha. And then the answer came, Nimat, they are doing that because if you imprison a celebrity like Baba Ijesha for the evil that he has done, that means any other person who believes they are celebrities, they should be at Allah because it can be their turn. So they didn't want it to get to that point. That was why they were pumping so much money. So immediately the Baba Ijesha's case happened and they saw that the way this thing was going, and I was saying I am ready to lay down my life because of the threat and everything. They figured, okay, even if she gets justice, let it just be something that, she will rest or something. But what they didn't bank on was that when Femi will be exposed, it will be me. Are you with me?
Again.
Me. I have been through the system. I and Kate, we talk a lot. And Kate will tell you, let me tell you, until you walk that walk, you will never know some things until it happens to you. Dr. Femi Olalaye's wife will tell you, the first day I spoke with her on the phone, I told her what will happen to the case from beginning to the end. We talked for almost 3 hours. When we spoke yesterday, and on Saturday, you know what she said? She said, Princess, you are so different. How did you know? I said, because I have walked it. So yesterday, I analyzed the way the case is a mirror of what happened with Baba Ijesha. So this is what happens now, Nimat. Nigerians need to start telling the truth and standing by it. Not tell the truth when it is convenient for you. Femi was my friend. Femi Olaleye was my friend. So when the wife told me, and listen, I spoke to Femi. He didn't deny it. The things he was saying, they were They are not to be, you understand? So if you can say, even if my mother or my brother or my best friend or my benefactor, because people will say, this is the person that helps me, will I now throw him on that? If you can just look past that and look at the lives of several people involved and stand from beginning to the end without expecting anything in return, then we can begin to build a better future for our children. As of this morning, I have said it 2 years ago and I'm saying it again. If you are a Nigerian and you have children, my only advice to you is be afraid. Because as of this morning, people do not regard sexual assault as an issue until we see it as an issue. And the reason I keep saying this is, Nimat, Morayo, please note, it is not every parent that would like to go to court like Princess or Femi Olaleye. Some parents, when the push comes to shove, might decide to take laws into their hands. Do we want it to get to that level? No. That is what I'm asking.
Princess, on that note, let me come in here because there's another angle that I'd like to hear your thoughts on.
Okay.
You see, as much as I hear the pain in all our voices, but do you think this case should be an opportunity for us to begin to trust the system, which is what Dr. was saying? You know, it's difficult, it's hard. Many of us didn't trust. We didn't even believe we're going to get justice. But do you think we should also advocate for people believing in the judicial system going forward? Because that might be a way to help our society see things differently. Do you think? Or do we think we just keep shouting on social media, screaming? Because sometimes we complicate issues
by going online,
having these media trials. But in your view, what have you learned from this case? How do you think this case can be a pointer for us to say, let us at least trust this government or this judiciary to do the job they're supposed to do?
Okay, so two things. First and foremost, during my case, I made a big mistake, and that was not speaking out online. So that is why throughout this case, you saw me talking about Femi Olaleye all the time. So it is very wrong for you when it happens. I know you'll be down, you'll be devastated, but you have to. You know why? When the abusers are gaslighters, they get in front of the camera. Nigerians sympathize with who first shouts. So you have to be careful. They will say, oh, why is she keeping quiet if it really happened? Why is it Yabo that is talking? Why? So I made that, and that I told Mrs. Olaleye, if I sometimes she's short, that's number one. Number two, you know I don't lie. I would say I'm not perfect, but you see that lie. You see the judicial system. I have analyzed it, and I'll say it on this program now. There are some aspects I never had trust in. This man, Moyo, Onigban Jodi, Attorney General, the first time I spoke to him, and I said to him, I don't trust you, sir, because you can be bribed. He was shocked. And I had my reasons. Do you understand? But I can tell you one thing now. From my experience and from Femi Olalaye's experience, there are some parts that you can trust. Number one, if anything happens to you and you are asked to submit evidence, especially to Panti, you must make sure that you entrust that evidence in a strong room, okay? Be rest assured that 80% of the time that evidence will get missing. That's number one. Number two, once you submit your evidence with the DPP, I want you to be rest assured you are safe. I have been there. I nearly ran mad. There was some evidence I just knew would get missing. But with the DPP, I didn't have to be afraid. Femi Olaleye will tell you the same thing. That was what I told her in the beginning. Anything that passes through party, 80% of the time will not be submitted. Okay. But you see, any evidence you submit with the DPP.
Which one is DPP?
I can say it now. I couldn't say it during my, but I can say it now. The DPP can be trusted. The DSVA, there's a lady there, Lola. I have known Lola before because I've been working with her for years for victims. I can tell you that Lola is trustworthy. Her team is trustworthy.
Right.
That's number two. Now, in the system, they also have some particular people that carry out detailed medical examination.
Right. Yeah.
You see those institutions, they are not under anybody.
Mirabel Center.
Mirabel, Checheyara, you can trust them. Okay. So if you have any case,
just go and meet those places.
That the judiciary is working. Okay. But prepare yourself. It might be slow.
Yeah.
And that slow is torture. But if you can hold on and keep saying the truth, keep saying the truth,
we have to wrap up.
Eventually, no matter how small, there's no small. When people were saying, I said there's no small victory. The fact that it was the first time in the history of Nigeria to happen, it has happened, it has happened.
Yeah.
Now another one has happened. And very soon, another one will happen.
I know you have to be somewhere, Princess.
Because we will keep talking about it.
I'm told that you have to be somewhere, so I have to let you go. Thank you so much, Princess, for always being available for us. Thank you so much. For those that were wondering what DPP is, is the Department of Public Defender. So the Department of Public Defender. Please go there.
Public Defender, yes. And then the DSB,
and then the
Lagos
DSB.
State Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency.
So please, those are the places you need to reach out. All right, let's go on a quick break. Thank you again, Princess. And victory to all Nigerians on this. Congratulations to all of us. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Still on the Dr. Femi Olaleye story. We just had a conversation with Princess. Unfortunately, she had to leave. She had an event she has to move on to. So, but we had to open our phone lines to Nigerians to call in. What are your thoughts on this? She said a few things that are important, that many Nigerians are still scared to come up. Many people do not trust the system. And she also advised us to go to DPP. And initially, I think I got it wrong earlier. Is the Directorate of Public Prosecutor's Office. That's where you go to. And she's also saying that people, those who are scared, should come out. You can trust the system to speak about what happened and you will get justice. But let me open our phone line so that now Nigerians can call in to share your thoughts, your experiences, and what this victory means to you or somebody you know that needs something like this as a push. 081-076-41679, 090-241-63440. These are the numbers to call. Call us on the numbers. And you can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. And if you're on YouTube, also send us messages. We'd like to hear from you. Tokwe, let me start with you. After hearing Princess, yesterday's jubilation, we heard from everybody. Because I remember Princess broke this news. I mean, she was the first to really come out to say this thing. And the wife came on our show to share her views. She really needed our platform, and we are so happy that we're there for her at the time. What was your own, what came to mind when you happened? And
like I said earlier, I was grateful that the justice system worked. I was grateful that for once we're hearing a story that started with a very powerful man. People don't know, some people don't know him, but Femi Olaleye had a brand that was accepted as this hero, this person that has come back from the UK to help women that are going through, that they don't know they might have breast cancer or cervical cancer. And he had this foundation that got a lot of donations. So this is someone that was well connected, had good branding, and in the typical Nigeria could have gotten away with this.
Okay, your view, no, sorry to pause you. Your view was practically, we're very instrumental in projecting.
Yes.
Dr.
Yeah,
I have nobody knew who he was.
Yeah.
He was on our show that we're consistently bringing.
Because it was a woman issue, he was advocate.
Yes. So
cervical cancer, breast cancer.
We helped him building that brand very well. Yeah, I remember.
And he came across as that hero. You know, everybody saw him as this wonderful person. And suddenly we find there's something wrong. The natural disposition is not to believe it. So it's easy for those kind of people to get away. In Nigeria, people like that get away with it. They don't get, the evidence will get missing, the case will get thrown out. To now find out that not only did the person get sentenced, the person was sentenced to life. Double life imprisonment, for me was an extremely, is a good thing, very good thing. So, I think that's a clip of when...
That's a clip of the show.
Scary.
When she came on. Staring at
That's so scary.
Anyway,
yeah.
But I think we
another... Okay, you have a call.
You have a call. Let me take this call. He's been holding. Taiwo from Kefi, thanks for calling. I'll come back to you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you, ma, for the program. I'm really enjoying it. May God Almighty bless you. I just want to contribute to Dr. Femi's case. I'm really happy with the victory, and God will help all of them that have contributed to this to happen. But what I want to say is, case of children being abused sexually, there should be probably a human rights activist in every police station that are closed, because most of us don't know the way to panty. And if you go and report in these police stations that are close to us, the police people later collect money and the case will die there. Case that needs to be escalated to the higher position won't be escalated. And these victims are moved from children from threaten and slap you houses, that their neighbors are assaulting them, their neighbors are abusing them sexually. Their parents will have to go. Most of these kids even go to the police station themselves, but they will not hear them out because those human activists are not there. These police people later collect money from those young boys that are living in those threaten and slap you houses. And this case will not be escalated. Most of them don't even know the roads to fancy. Look at in Lagos State, fancy to all these Aja houses that we have most of threaten and slap you houses. It's very far. Most of us don't know the roads to fancy. But the police stations that we have very close to us, human activists are not there. Human rights activists are not there.
Yeah.
You hear them.
Point taken, Taiwo.
May I respond, Taiwo? When you have a sexual-related assault, panty is not your first place to go. You are not investigating a financial crime or, a regular thief and beating and all of that. You're investigating a special-natured crime. And a department and a special unit court has been provided for that in Lagos. So you are covered. Don't fear. If you go to the police station by your house, still go to the Mirabel Center or a general hospital and let the evidence, get a rape kit, take the evidence from there to the DSVA. These are agencies I can assure you will get justice. But the problem is, are those families of those victims willing to follow the entire all? We've always failed at rape cases, always, until I met one woman. I don't want to mention, the name of the child and her mom. It was a guy's rape. It was a guy's. No, a guy raped them, but it was a guy's. He came in like a robbery and then turned on his classmates and raped them. The moment the guy was able to identify the rapist, because they were able to pull his mask off, identified him, he was her classmate in the university. She went to the VC, from there to the Mirabel Center, from there on to the DSVA, the entire evidence they needed. The girl was helped, psychosocial support was given to her at the Mirabel Center. They gave her drugs to prevent HIV transmission in case single thing, in my experience as a lawyer, was done for that girl. And in Lagos State, there was a conviction. Yeah. In this Lagos. So it's not every time that it makes it to the news. Yeah. That particular case, the girl was the Puda girl. She was not a Muslim in hijab, but that was her protection to appear in court. She was the Puda case in this Lagos State reference case. You can check it online. Right. And that case, they got a conviction because her mother never allowed. The moment they brought them to Festac police station, the first thing the victim's family did was beg. He knelt down, he prostrated, he rolled left and right and promised to be a better person. The mother said no, until I see this to justice. Yeah. Most families are the ones who will say, beg us. Yeah. What is there?
So now, so we help people.
Let's focus on families.
Rape just happened. Regardless of who, first things first, is it police or general hospital? General hospital. Go to general hospital first,
for a rape
ask for a rape kit.
Keep your evidence.
Once you have the rape kit, keep your evidence, go to Mirabel Center. From there
No. The Mirabel Center...
Box is within the general hospital.
Is in the general hospital. Mirabel Center is for those on the mainland. It is easy for you to get there. Yes, Sisiara is in Yaba. There is Warif Sisiara is in Bagada. There is Warif on the land. There are different areas. I think that if anybody gets raped, going to the general hospital ensures that you will get a rape kit and you can, at least they will take the evidence. Yes. Because don't wash up. We've said that over and over again. If you are raped, don't wash. The natural tendency is to want to wash yourself and wash away the experience, but you are washing away evidence. Don't wash, go to general hospital, get a rape kit, and they will take that sample because that is what gets you justice at the end of the day.
Even if you're doing the mistake of washing off, they are still able to establish that there was a form of penetration by examining. When they write, because they are the legitimate agencies that the courts trust, when they write on your case, you stand a better chance. Right. So please still visit the Mirabel.
Even if you have mistakenly washed up, because some people might not know. I mistakenly washed up.
Still go, even in 2 days, even in a week, still visit. They can still get evidence, even if you cannot, within 24 hours, put your thoughts together. Whenever you get your thoughts together, go to those centers.
Then you go to report to the
Then we spoke about the fact that Princess mentioned that some people were victims in this case, and I mean survivors. And most of the time, survivors keep quiet, and the trauma lives with them. And it's important that we, as a society, create a safe space for survivors to speak up. It is not when somebody says that I've been raped, or I had a near rape experience, or this happened to me. People will now come online and start commenting negative things towards that person. We also need to highlight the fact that rape is a crime. Domestic abuse is a crime. It's not, oh, forgive. It's not a let him go. It is not a pray. Let's
bygones be bygones.
Let bygones be bygones. Let's leave it for God. It is this leave it for God is why evil persists within our country.
Go ahead, Mariam.
Yes, I was going to say, you know, in speaking with Princess, there are a few things that she mentioned that stuck with me. She said that many Nigerians do not believe that when you assault someone, cases of sexual abuse is not a big deal. And so that if you have children, be careful. Be very afraid. And that thing shock, you know, that thing really, it set a shiver down my spine. And it's true. If we're a society that does not believe that sexual abuse is a grave offense, then we want them to walk away scot-free. The most we're asking for is for someone to say sorry. But I'm happy for this conviction because it is not about this Mr. Femi, Dr. Femi Olaleye alone and this particular conviction. It's going to be a change of mindset. People will be more confident to report, and people will have confidence that, you know, their voices will be heard. And then hopefully this will also teach people that there are consequences for such actions, that this is not acceptable anywhere. This is horrible and a horrific habit to have. And, you know, when there are some people that she was mentioning that they were saying, oh, life imprisonment, what did he do? If it was someone you knew, if it was you, if it was your child, would you say that? Sometimes we need to think deeply about things like this.
Let me take Tally. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Sani. Go ahead, please.
Yes, okay, I think it's nice having this kind of discussion. Thank God for the conviction. But I think Princess made a point which I think we should all hammer upon. Princess said, when you take the case to Bansi, 80% of those evidences get missing. I think this should be blown so that everybody can know. Why would such happen in a place where we should feel safe? I think that should be blown out of proportion. Let's know what's happening. Why would you take the case to the police station?
I can hardly hear him.
Because widely known in Lagos State. So why would you take a case to Bansi and 80% of it, 80%, that's mind-blowing.
Okay, Sani, so let's put things in proper perspective. Princess expressed her view, and we must also be able to know things. People can say different things. She has not done any she's not come with empirical evidence and say, oh, this is the percentage. This is just based on her own experience that she has walked that train. So that's how, so let's not make it as the fact, right? I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm just saying that let's see things in proper perspective.
It's an opinion.
Based on our own experience. Based on our own experience and walking that path. That's what she said. If you go to Pantio, 80% of evidence will be missing. However, some else might come tomorrow and say, when I went to Pantio, my own evidence were not missing. So there are different perspectives. Let's not take it as the one rule fits all. That's the one thing.
So sometimes when you go to these police stations, the average police officer is likely to want to butch your case. So you want to put better leg down before you're going to any of these police stations.
So what she's meaning with that is that just be careful when you go to Panty. Make sure your evidences are well
and get a tight lawyer. Also a feedback for the police.
Yes.
Do proper vetting of your officers. This is not a small thing to...
Definitely, this is a huge feedback for the police. I mean, that was her experience and is valid. And, you know, we have a lawyer amongst us. She tells us some things, you know, even behind the scenes. We understand. And this is Nigeria. So there are some things we cannot even hide. We do know that when we go to the police, even to take your case, to even listen to your case, sometimes they just throw you out. You know, they don't think it makes any sense, especially when it has to do with domestic and sexual violence. But we're happy that we have this conviction. And I'm hoping that, you know, Lagos State, what it's doing here will be, I will see it across Nigeria. Because it seems to be like Lagos State is the one leading. And I think Ekiti State with the last administration as well. So I would like to see this beyond, you know, the Southwest. We go all the way. Let people get justice, please.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, continue our conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the verdict and conviction of the Dr. Olaleye story. There's something Princess said, I think, that really struck me, aside from everything we said so far, that the fact that they unencrypted the laptop, that they saw quite a lot of videos. Now, there are people that were victims who are alive and they're not talking, and it's possible they are hurting. So you don't have to come out to the public and say, oh, I was one of the victims, but now that the laptop is, he doesn't have the power to blackmail you anymore. It's time for you to get real healing. Because many of them are living life in different ways. They just feel like nobody knows, I'm okay, and I move on. But it can be affecting you subconsciously in so many ways, in your marriage, in your family, your relationships. So it can actually, to sabotage you as a person. So I think this is another opportunity for us to remind those victims, wherever they may be, that it's time to get healing. They need to come out and find that opportunity to get a therapist, go back, get full healing so that they can live quality lives going forward.
So, Mariam said, finished a comment with something very important. Nigeria is more than Lagos, and there are victims of sexual and domestic violence all across the country, and we need to see the developments of justice. We need to see justice across the different parts of Nigeria. We need to hear stories in the southeast of people being raped, also getting justice. We need to see people in the north that would get raped, and they would not say, marry her because she's raped. You know, we cannot, there's a story of, they raped, just marry. Because you raped her, marry her. And that in our culture is seen as, so we must get justice across the nation. There must be the Child Rights Act should be signed in all the states. Every state must institute something similar to the DSV that works in Lagos. We know that the former First Lady of Ekiti State she was consistent in speaking against domestic violence, creating systems to support. We also need all First Ladies to do it, if that's what they can do. Let all First Ladies to do it. Create a DSV, a domestic and sexual violence unit in your state, and put someone who is passionate there so that they can speak up. It can be a succor, a place for refuge for those. Then we have Mirabel Center. It's not a government agency. Sisiyara is not a government agency. Warif is not a government agency. These are individuals who've taken up this journey. These are in Lagos. Can you go and replicate the same in your state? Can we have these agencies in many states? Can you, as a wealthy person, support Sisiyara to open a center in the north, in the southwest, in the southeast, as well, as a way to say, I'm putting a little money to, this is my CSR, not just giving school bags. School bags are important, or giving shoes, but also institution.
At the risk of being attacked, let me just follow this cultural popular that we are excusing. Yes, Morayo, please, let me go. So when a victim is raped, just as Tokwe said, in the north, marry her does not absorb the rape. It just leads the girl to a continuous life of abuse that she ends up not having a life. It happens also, all the Iloke, we call them Iloke from here in the southwest. It does not absorb anybody of rape. Any underage rape under the Child Rights Act is a life sentence. It's a strict liability offense. You don't have to say, I don't know the age. Once they can establish that the person is under 18, it's a strict liability offense. And in the East, baby factory does not absorb of rape.
How do they get the baby?
It does not. The culture that is my sister helping my husband because I can't have children, it doesn't absorb of rape.
Exactly.
Let's talk about these cultural practices, these traditional practices that have excused rape over the years that we must do away with. And, you know, without fear or favor, if you like, say it's your tribe, you can excuse. It doesn't absorb of rape. As long as the person is not mature and is not consenting to helping your marriage, to bear children, or to help your husband when you are on bed rest because you're sexually incapable of having sex. It does not absorb of rape, and you must call it what it is, or else you accept that Femi Olaleye is your hero, and you have failed your own family.
Can we talk about Femi Olaleye?
Can we talk about...
I don't know. I'm not sure it's time to talk about her. I think she should come
and say her story herself.
I think she was because there's a lot to take in.
It's time to leave her, let her heal.
Yeah, I think there's a lot
I would
to
like
take
us to talk about the Nigerian voices.
Okay.
And the support that she got. because
Or the
it
lack
was
of it.
definitely, well, maybe she did not get like a whole Nigerian support, but there are some strong voices that stood by her. I'm grateful that we can also say that we're part of that platform that gave her that support. You know, sometimes it's not like a person is afraid to speak up. It's that when they make the first shout and then you point fingers at them and start making fun of them, or you tell them to shut up, then they shut up. It's not like they're even afraid in the very beginning to speak up. But what this justice that we got today is a collaborative effort. That woman stood up and she spoke up and she spoke out. Nigerian women spoke up. Princess, Your View, Kate Henshaw, everyone that spoke up, we all did this. And so even across Nigeria, where you may point and say, oh, but Lagos is doing better, it's people in Lagos that are pushing this. So even in your own communities and your states, if this is not happening, what are the people in the community, what are the people in the states doing? When someone is being raped and you can see right before your eyes that this person needs justice and you turn your face, that is what you get. You don't get justice. So the justice that we got today has a lot to do with our voices. We spoke up and we gave the platform for that woman to speak her truth and get.
Let me take this call from Ibrahim. You hold him for a minute. Good morning, Ibrahim.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Well,
sorry for keeping. Go ahead, please.
The conviction is a good one that we are witnessing. Because many people don't think a rape case will go this far, somebody will be convicted. In recent time, we think, and it's a very good become.
Okay, so let's get a few messages on our social media. But there's a message here that was saying that we should talk about the wife. And the reason why I want us to restrain from that is because it's too early. The judgment was just yesterday. There's a lot of things she's probably going through her mind. Yes. There are many factors involved in this conviction and this imprisonment. So it's something that we need to give her time to understand. And when she's ready to speak, then we can engage her, but we will not address her right now. I'm responding to the person that is saying that we're talking about.
The reason I want to mention that she's also one of the heroes of this case is because there are many, many women whose child has been raped by their husband. Like your husband raped your child.
The father raped his daughter.
Then the father, no, let's even say your husband raped your child, stepfather. Your husband raped your child, father. Your husband raped your niece or raped your younger sister. Your husband, like, you will be like, we've seen women that will be defending their husbands,
Hallelujah.
even in the face of a crime, to say, I cannot be seen to report my husband. Please, just apologizing on behalf of a criminal. I think that some women have been permitting this crime. And it is out of ignorance or maybe because they don't think there's an option. But at least we now have one hero in the name of Mrs. Olaleye, who spoke up and showing that it is possible for you to love and have a good marriage or whatever the story is in your marriage and still be able to speak up against a crime that has been committed around you, especially speak up for the defenseless around you, that you are not going to throw your child into the gutter just because you want to protect your marriage, because you want to protect your house. You will say, let us keep this thing at home. There are stories online, several stories that
we need to also remember that a man can be many things. You can be a lawyer, you can be a husband, you can be whatever it is you have. That's a position. But being a pervert is who you are internally out. So a woman, therefore, must be able to separate. This man is not a husband. Right now, at this moment, he's not a husband, he's not a lawyer, he's not a doctor. He is a pervert, he's a convicted criminal. He's a mentally deranged. Yeah. So we must understand that, because those sentiments coming to women who are going through this, where they feel like, he's the father of my children, but he's my husband. What would they say? At that moment, he's not a father to your children. Yeah. You must call him what it is, a pervert.
Your protection of your family name or your status. So I had one case where the man was a religious leader, let me not call the faith itself, and the wife kept saying that the work cannot be seen. He had raped a neighbor's 15-year-old housemaid. The girl came back pregnant. That was why we found out. He gave her money, about 10,000, to travel to see her family. And when she found she was pregnant, she came back. That was where we got the knowledge. And my neighbor called me to the case, and the wife kept saying, the girl is a loose girl. She was loose.
That's the thing.
That because the status of Dadiwa cannot be seen with such a girl, and that she cannot allow that girl come and tarnish her marriage image in society. So that image you are trying to protect, that name or so-called you're trying to protect, know that you're going to use it to destroy more lives. Princess says something now that is giving me headache. Before, we used to worry about girls. My father had 4. He was only worried about all of us. He left his only son and focused on his 4 girls. And now in society, you have to focus on the male as well as the female.
So equally, sir.
Equally, in fact, if not more, than you should for the girls. So it's now a societal menace because of over the years, women who have upheld or protected the abuser.
Okay, let's take a few comments on social media. No one wants to jump in here, but let's get a few comments ready. Mariam, go ahead.
Yes, I was just going to say that now that the dust has settled somewhat, yes, on this particular issue, what next? What next for our justice system? What next for our police force? What next for the DSV? You know, like, what have they learned in pursuing this to justice? Yes, many times we've heard of cases and then they are bust or they never go anywhere, and that has been like our story over and over again. But now we have a victory. There was something that was done that made it right. Someone called and was saying, what do you need to go? Where do you need to go? Can we go back out there and resensitize Nigerians? Teach them what to do in a situation like this. Let's go to schools. Let's talk to our young ones. Let's teach them first how to protect themselves, and then in the sad, unfortunate position this happens, what are the steps that you need to carry, you need to take? Let our young ones also understand that Nigeria and the system, it's your protector. We'll protect you, we'll defend you, we'll stand by you. If a young girl comes to you in the community and she says that she's going through this or this has happened to her, be that voice in your community. You don't need to have a lot of money, you don't need to have any influence. There are systems that have been put in place for us to take advantage of for situations like that. Because the reason I'm saying this is that I know of people who, even after hearing this, they're going to say, well, they are able to do it because it's in Lagos. They're able to do it because Princess and Kate Henshaw were involved. Or they're able to do it because someone was able to call your view. You know, and then some of us are watching and say, these are celebrity people, they're able to handle it because of that. But you can be someone's celebrity in your community. You can be someone's hero today. There are so many of these cases. You know, when we talk about this is just one out of like the millions and many years of this sort of crime being perpetrated in Nigeria. I just would like to see a difference in the way that we think, in the way that we view our children, in the way that we protect them as well.
So people on YouTube are saying, how would the family take Mrs. Olaleye? How would she explain to our children what happened? They're also saying, somebody else is saying, isn't life imprisonment too much for a rape case? It's not like I support rape, but life imprisonment, I feel it is too much as a justice for rape case. Somebody else is saying, what is the age of consent? At what point is it rape? As in, the comment is shocking me that as we have announced this thing over and over again on TV, somebody can still be asking
those questions,
those kind of questions like, life imprisonment is too much. What is the age for rape? At what point is there consent? So you hold somebody that is your house girl, that is not interested, that is working in your house, and you forcefully have intimate knowledge of her, and you are saying because she's over 20, maybe she consented. It's not rape. No, she's loose. Or she's loose.
So
this is not rape.
So these things, we say, and again, we will get there, Tope. See, I can understand, but it's important for us to highlight these issues. But we have a culture that we need to change gradually, and we must not be impatient. So if you and I are in this place where we get it, there's some people that don't get it, not because they don't want to get it, but because they don't know better. We only know in part. They only know in part. So as society evolves, we begin to want to educate, sensitize, and change thinking, mindset, traditions, things you've done. Because some people, if they're adults, they were raped and they moved on.
So they be wondering,
so
they
believe that was the big. So it's something that we must continually educate people to get to that end. That listen, this was a traumatic event for you, and it was a complete disrespect to your person. So it's something we need to educate. So let's not be too traumatized by people's comments, but let's understand and take it as feedback of what society must do to continually re-educate Nigerians better.
I had a sheltered upbringing. What changed my mind about, defilement was the sight of a 4-year-old raped. Sometimes when you see the damage,
pedophilia.
Kai, if you can eat in 2 days, you're a very strong person. Really. That also happened in my neighborhood, and the poor girl came out with her bloodied clothes and, you know, her shoes. And she was walking all the way to that slum looking for her mom. And it was her stepfather's friend who did this. And you know what the family did? They will blame you. So when Miriam was saying, be the person who fights for that family, it's not an easy place to be. Yeah. Most times, they will label you the destroyer of family. They will move out. Some will run away. You know, you won't have a witness. And the helplessness that follows it is not a good place. Yeah. Like, you have not minded your business, so they don't come disgrace you. You have learned from the outside. You know, so those things pain. That's why my advocacy will be to the family themselves to feel paid enough to stake everything that this one time, it will never happen again. You know, before somebody comes and be your defense, you'll be so pained. Like that mom, she's still my mother. I shout out to her on her birthdays. I just don't want to put this light on her now. She did something amazing. The mother showed up at every court trial. Especially when we have many cases where when a child is raped and goes to the mother immediately turns on her. Yes, it's your fault. Well, what did you do? Why did you go there? What is it that you're looking for? I've always known in you that there was something about you. You now turn it. So the person has already been defiled, assaulted, traumatized, and then gets even worse. So be the hero in your own home, to be your child's hero as well. Understand that what has been done to your child is unacceptable. It's horrific. They stole something from your child. That's how grave this is. And then you must stand and defend your child. And your child will forever... I mean, yes, there's a love for a mother, but then there's a different kind of love for a mother that stands with you when the world is judging you.
I love what you said. So they stole something from your child.
Yes.
I think we must see it like that. They stole something. They stole her dignity. They stole her innocence. Yes. That was a serious theft. And that must be defended and fought against the best we can. I think we can end the show with that. Any comments on social media before we run off?
Biliki says, from time immemorial, culture has made it impossible for women to go against their husbands when it comes to infidelity. Imagine even when it's committed against their own child. I hope and pray that this is the beginning of killing the silence and killing women and children. This is the beginning of the end of killing the silence and killing women and children. Yes. Also, society enables bad behavior. Women are enablers, supposedly protecting their husbands when they know he's committed such heinous crime. I applaud the wife of this doctor for not allowing society to bully her into silence. Good morning, lady.
Okay. So she's the hero of this entire situation. Exactly. Congratulations to Femi Olaleye. We're going to go on and complete the show now. Done of the show. But it's a heavy show of emotions. Bittersweet in the sense that, yes, we're happy, but we're also... It's sad that it still goes on. Not all cases get to this victory. Many cases are sabotaged, internally sabotaged by family and loved ones and family, and even the religious bodies. So it's a continuous advocacy that we need to do as a society and as individuals. That's all we can take on today's show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.